In Botswana's deeply patriarchal society, womanhood alone can be a site of struggle, but for a lesbian woman, discrimination often comes in layers. Navigating daily life means confronting not only gender inequality rooted in tradition and power, but also stigma tied to sexual orientation and gender identity and expression. From family homes to workplaces, churches and public spaces, lesbian women experience a double marginalization. Gaborone Customary Court President Arnold Somoleka, in an interview with YTV, has called on members of the public to be accommodative and open-minded as culture and social norms continue to evolve over time. Somoleka stressed that respect for human dignity should be upheld at all times, regardless of an individual's sexual orientation. He noted that whether one is a lesbian or not, mutual respect remains a fundamental value that binds communities together.
As a leader in a society, first of all, we must understand who we are. There is no nation that does not have any culture. But culture is not static. Culture evolves as time goes on. So we must know that, you see, we must be accommodative to each other. Now, when we discuss issues of lesbians and LGBT, whatever they call it, that is an issue which puts in who we are. As much as we are Botswana, we must know we are an accommodative nation, and we must accommodate other cultures. We must accommodate other people. We must accommodate one another in order to stay peaceful. Now, it is not an issue of who must do what in terms of home chores whatsoever. You see, it must be why, what do we want to achieve?
Human rights defender and founder of Success Capital, Dumiso Gata, an LGBTIQ+ youth-led organization, says the organization recently conducted a study focusing on the experiences of lesbians in Botswana. The findings revealed that a high prevalence of intimate partner violence within lesbian relationships, an issue that often remains hidden due to stigma and underreporting. According to Gata, the study also highlighted serious concerns around consent, revealing that in some cases, one partner will wake up and realize that they had been sexually violated without their consent. She emphasized that these findings underscore the urgent need for targeted awareness, survivor-centered support services, and inclusive policies that address intimate partner violence across all relationships, regardless of sexual orientation.
Several studies, and one of them was a study that had secured research permission from the Office of the President of the Republic of Botswana, and basically in some of the experiences that were shared was acknowledging that there were high levels of intimate partner violence amongst lesbians. Secondly, that there was a heteronormative adoption of gender roles. So people would, for example, call one partner who happened to be a little bit more masculine daddy. In other instances, you'd find heteronormative kinds of relationships manifesting. So only one partner would be seen as the carer and would often spend more time at home because that individual happened to be unemployed. And we found a little bit of a challenge where cheating was fueled by, one, the need for resources, where you'd find that the person that's engaged in a formal workplace environment doesn't earn enough to sustain, for example, the partner, because the partner wouldn't be working and would be staying at home. And then they also need to be able to give back home in terms of black tax. And so there were variances of experiences that really essentially modeled off of heteronormative relationships. On another element, we recognized that consent was often an issue, where one partner would find herself waking up realizing that sexual intimacy had started. In other instances, they would often be assumed to be cheating if they didn't want to engage in intimacy at a specific point.
𝐃𝐨𝐿𝐴 Masaba from Molepole, who identifies as lesbian, says she realized that her sexual orientation while she was in Standard 7, noting that she mostly associated and played with other girls at the time. She explained that this period marked the beginning of her understanding of her identity. Masaba further shared that she has since received acceptance and support from her mother, a gesture she described as deeply affirming. She said her mother's acceptance of her identity has brought her happiness and a sense of emotional security, adding that family support plays a critical role in the well-being of LGBTIQ plus individuals.
So it's not going to so it's not free like but again I realized that because then no only a point whereby
Masaba further shared that while it is often obvious that the community judges them because of their identity as lesbians, she believes that self-acceptance is far more important than the societal opinion. She emphasized that ultimately it takes individual strength to accept who one is and to live authentically without allowing society to dictate personal choices or life decisions. According to Masaba, embracing one's identity empowers individuals to lead fulfilling lives despite judgment or stigma from the community.
As you know, they always talk about. So, maybe something saying how community these people put it down.
Another lesbian, 𝐿𝐴, 21, from Tonota village, said that based on her personal experiences, she often faces rejection and discrimination when accessing health services. She explained that this treatment is particularly evident during routine visits for HIV testing, where she feels judged and unsupported by some healthcare workers. 𝐿𝐴 noted that some experiences discouraged many LGBTIQ plus individuals from seeking essential health services, highlighting the need for inclusive and non-discriminatory health care practices.
I'm just a girl, you understand? So, so I get
Story compiled by Lammy Lucas.